covered in ashes when they left me bleeding. Is rise of the phoenix, forever succeeding. I'm keeping on grinding, my energy's rising. Transitional crashes no longer surprising. I gave it to source, the old me is dead. Destroying all curses, I live by the bread. I'm holding my head up, I'm standing my ground. The Empress arrived, the loss has been found.
Gang, what it do? It's your girl, Empress Pre, busting at you on the mic, sending you love and light wherever you are in the sector of your universe. Welcome y'all to another episode of Letz TalkQ. Today, we got my girl, LaShawn Love, in the house. Say what up, dude.
Hello, how are you doing?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
All right. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So, as she said, I'm LaShawn Love. I born and raised here in Colorado. Grew up on the east side of Denver, 24th and Downey, where I got my start. Went to Whittier Elementary, Gilpin Elementary, Grant Middle School. Graduated from East High School. Then went on to college at Denver Metro State College, which is now Denver State University, for my undergraduate in human development with an emphasis in early childhood education. Then went on to get my master's degree in applied leadership with an emphasis in policy advocacy, all while being a mother of three, a wife, and working a full-time job teaching in DPS schools and then eventually at Clayton Early Learning.
That's what's up, though. That's a mouthful right there. So congratulations to you, sis.
Thank you.
So why don't you tell us how you got into it?
So as I stated, my career got started in education, early childhood education. And I loved education, but I intentionally got a degree in human development because I knew that I needed an out of education when that time came. And so through, my exploration in education and working at Clayton Early Learning, where I began to take leadership development coursework, went through the coaching consortium, and then did Buell Early Childhood Leadership Program. I then began to really understand what it takes to be a leader. All the while being an administrator at Clayton Early Learning as an administrative mentor coach, overseeing several teachers in classrooms. And during that time, education started to change, things started to change, and I started to see a shift in the desire and how I wanted to impact the community. And so I started a community nonprofit, Love Foundation, and our aim was really to support middle school children in really understanding financial fitness and leadership advocacy. And from there, we went on to support high schoolers, and then eventually dismissing the Love Foundation 303 or the Love Foundation, and then opening up the Love Foundation 303, where we serve the underserved, underlooked through advocacy, action, entrepreneurship, and education. The E goes both ways.
That's what's up. So that's a lot that comes into that. Now, why don't you break down for us Love Foundation in itself?
So Love Foundation 303 is a targeted case management agency where we serve individuals transitioning from nursing facilities and intermediate facilities to get back into the community, whether that's going back to a home of their own, getting them housing to get an apartment in the community, or whether that is going to an assisted living program. So we partner with the Centers for Medicaid, Medicare, Colorado's Health First, and Colorado's HCPS, which is Healthcare Policy and Finance, to provide what we call targeted case management transition services.
Okay. And how long have you been doing that?
So Love Foundation 303 has been doing that for a little over 7 years. Actually, we're coming up on our anniversary, March 12th.
Happy anniversary, girl.
Thank you. It'll be 7 years. In addition to that, we do provide what we call home and community-based services for those individuals transition from nursing facilities. If they need support with like life skills, services, getting acclimated back to living on their own, organizing paperwork, or just simply need training with skills that they have lost from being institutionalized. We support with that, and then we also provide peer mentorship for individuals getting out of the nursing facility. And then one of the perks about transition coordination services, or should I say the home community-based services, is the state provides individuals transitioning from nursing facilities up to $2,000 in essential items or dollars that can be spent to purchase them a bed, couch, furniture. And that amount has went up this year from what it's previously been, because prior to that it was $1,500.
Mm-hmm.
But the cost of living and all of that has raised, and so the state has now issued $2,000 to support, to offset some of that cost.
Well, that's the beautiful thing, though, because then people don't have to worry about when they are out. Like, how am I going to get set up, started
Right.
off, and everything? So, tell us a little bit about that. Like, do you guys just pick out the items, or do they have the option open to do what they would like to do,
So in
as
most
long as it's within that price range?
Correct. In most cases, we work with a member to identify like color schemes, vendors, brands, and things of that sort. Because most members don't have transportation to go to the places, with us, so they're typically not there. So we sit down with them, we create a budget with them based on the amount that the state provides. And based on that amount and what it is that their essential needs are, we come up with that budget, and then our team then takes that budget with that person's preference of brand, color scheme, and things of that sort, and then go purchase those items on their behalf. They get it set up in their home before they ever transition from the community, so they don't have to worry about that piece of it. And then we also provide them their receipts for all of the materials that's been purchased on their behalf.
That's nice. That's nice. But also, along with that, if they don't need a regular bed or anything like that, you guys work closely and network with people to provide medical beds and stuff like that, and all their equipment that they may need.
So as part of targeted case management, we coordinate with a lot of key players. So it's just not the transition coordinator and the member. The member chooses who they want to be on their options counseling team. And that could be anywhere from their family member, a friend, but it's typically the nursing facility is always involved. We try to keep the case management agency informed of what's going on. So there's a plethora of individuals that we're coordinating with for this discharge. So we might be speaking with home health agencies if that's what a member needs. We may be speaking to other community resources like the Gathering Place if they need additional support with clothing or things of that sort. So we coordinate with a lot of community organizations, in addition to a lot of other home and community-based providers who will provide that support.
That's beautiful, because then also along with you guys offer the peer mentorship. So a lot of people who have been in facilities or whatever for a while, they have that support and that stability from someone. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the peer mentorship program?
I think the peer mentorship program is so important because a lot of people transitioning from nursing facilities, they don't always have the family support for them. And so when they do get out, they really are on their own. So having someone who has navigated the transition process before is going to be very important to help now this new member transitioning in the community be able to adjust, understand, the ins and outs of transitioning, and really helping them get acclimated back in the home. So a peer mentor is good in that way because, again, it's not a professional that sometimes can come in and it can feel the work can feel heavy, but it is a peer who has been through the process, who can understand what you're going through and then really work with you to make those adjustments.
And not only with the Love Foundation, but you guys have a whole bunch going on, Miss Love. Why don't you tell us about more programs that you are involved in and
So,
operating?
so we have a holding company, which is Love and Company Holding, who is the parent company for both Love Foundation 303 and then Love and Company Housing. Love and Company Housing is a collaboration or partnership that we have with the Department of Housing, where we oversee vouchers on their behalf. We don't administer vouchers or approve vouchers.
Make it clear, so don't reach out for that, y'all.
Yeah,
Come on.
don't reach out for vouchers. But we administer vouchers for individuals who have already been approved through the Department of Housing, and we oversee those. And that's very important in the line of work that we do, because we want to see people stay housed. A lot of our individuals that we work with has experienced being unhoused at some point in their life, and so on the Love and Company Housing side, we're able to work with them to make sure that they get their voucher paperwork turned in every year to be recertified. If they're wanting to move, making sure that we are supporting and helping them navigate that moving process as far as paperwork is concerned. And then just making sure overall that they are very well informed about their voucher and the process of keeping the voucher long term.
Mhm. Now let's bring that out again. She mentioned that because a lot of people have this idea of housing as bad guys.
Yeah.
That they want to come and take away my housing. They're not inspectors and everything. She mentioned she wants to help people. The company helps people to continue and to keep their housing. So along with that, it's also y'all's responsibility that are out there to make sure that your paperwork's in on time, make sure that you're communicating and everything. Even though that they're here for you, they can only do so much. So it's an active participation on both ends, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. The voucher participant has a fundamental responsibility to make sure that they're communicating with their housing coordinator, making sure that they're getting their paperwork turned in on time, and then anything that we can help in the midst of that. Like I said, we work with a lot of individuals who are aging or facing a disability. So oftentimes we will support them by going out to their homes, helping them complete their paperwork, and making sure that the housing coordinator gets that information so that they can get their recertification every year.
That's beautiful. So see, there's not a stress on that either for those of you who do work with this company. They there for y'all to help you get it through. Now, you have some other things going on, so let us know a little bit more.
So just so that you know, as part of the Love and Company Housing, we do complete inspections. But again, that's a part of the recertification process. Or if a person is moving, then we go and inspect the new unit to make sure that it passes inspections. Because again, we want people to be able to live in an environment that is safe, an environment that is free of hazardous materials. So the purpose of inspecting is making sure that it aligns with the Department of Housing's inspection guidelines to make sure that that is in place. Outside of that, as a conglomerate of all of Love Foundation 303, Love and Company Housing, and as our parent company, we do a lot of other community events. We're getting ready to host our first Healthy and Me Lounge Hour, March 8th, where that event is intended to get a lot of professional folks, entrepreneurs, business owners together to network, to share information while enjoying some soft music, jazz, and some food to go along with it. So we'll be having those on a quarterly basis. And then we're developing some programs to really work with a lot of our 62 and up communities, making sure that we're collaborating with other organizations, including our very own Love and Company Housing, to make sure we're setting up events quarterly to where we're in their communities, helping them get recertified all in one place, and also providing them some additional information about other supports that can be available in the community to help them to continue to sustain.
Okay, now on your first event,
Yes.
if people want to register, y'all haven't registered yet for the ones that I did share with. Why don't you go ahead and share with the people where they can register?
So you can go onto our website, which is lf303.org. And if you go to the Healthy and Me tab, you'll be able to go ahead and register and sign up for that event. As Empress Pre has said, space is limited, and so and it's filling up pretty fast. We first sent an exclusive to some of our exclusive members an email on the 1st of February, and we're only on the 9th of February now, and we probably have maybe about 7 open seats. So if you're interested, I would suggest that you reserve now.
So as we speak, it's probably just sold out. No, wait, no. Y'all come in. I know I was looking forward. I was like really holding mine because I was like, there's a friend that I wanted to invite to it as well. But following the rules, so thank you for my invite. Like I said, I did sign up. I can't wait, and hopefully some of y'all will be there if you're there in time.
And it's a free event, so
it is. Yeah. Come out and enjoy. Are you allowed to give the address, or do you just want them to just go ahead and register and then?
Yeah, prefer that they go online and register.
Okay.
And the reason for that being is all the information is there for them. We don't want people just showing up without registering, because you will be turned away, unfortunately.
And she ain't scared.
No,
So.
because it is limited space.
Yes. So looking forward to that. Now, you said you have more events coming up for this year as well.
So we will have more Healthy and Me events. We're having those quarterly. We'll be dropping those dates a month before the event, kind of like we did this event. But we'll also be having some outdoors events where we'll be doing some hiking events, bringing people together to, get out there and be working out. I'm a mountain girl, so I love hiking and the mountains, so we'll be doing a lot of that in the hot seasons.
See, so that's very good. So y'all can get out and, get your little stretch on. Enjoy the views, because we have some spectacular scenery here in the Mile High. So, and our mountains are the bomb.
I agree.
Yeah, okay. So along with running your organization and everything, you also mentioned you are a wife and a mother of 3. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is like fam biz. So how is it like working so closely to your family?
That's a whole another challenge within itself. So it both comes with its rewards and challenges. But what I can say is that as a family, we're learning together. We're learning how to build together, and so it can be tough, but again, it is definitely rewarding, and I'm blessed to have children who are interested in the work that we're doing, and that I'm able to really be a guide to in life. My husband is a great support in this venture. He allows me to be able to have the capacity to do what I do. But on top of, my husband and 3 kids, I have 5 grandchildren who I adore, and we have 1 on the way, so I'll have 6 grandchildren here in June.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Yeah, not bad. Like, for real, you have your hands, but she don't even look it. Like, she don't even look it. She look good. Y'all make sure to put that in the comments too. I'll be watching. Shoot. But and then with the family and everything coming together, I would like to say personally, I love how you guys all work so well together and come together. You know what I'm saying? On everything, and how you guys have built your a wonderful example.
Thank you.
Not just a mother, a wife, a friend, business owner. You know what I'm saying? There's so many titles that you can put out there, but just as a person as I have come to know you.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? You are, I look up to you.
Thank you.
And so yeah, you're welcome. No, she know I'm crazy, y'all. She
I
already
will
know.
be remiss if I don't say that part of the journey in becoming a targeted case management agency and a home and community-based provider was I was introduced to this work by my aunt, Michelle Johnson, who was one of the pioneers in leading this program from a pilot program that started in 2014, I want to say, and has helped the state develop this program to what it is today. So I would be remiss if I didn't say that her leadership, her fearlessness has transcended and has really helped me to be who I am in business.
Yeah, she's a huge impact. She was one of the first African American women, correct, who started the home base.
I'm going to say, I won't say first African American women, but I would say she was, one of a few that has pioneered this program.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. See, correction. No, but it's good to see. And I'm not excluding anybody out. Your girl's not like that, but it's good to see our people.
Absolutely.
Stepping into positions and holding them, because there's so much out there that. But y'all know I'm truthful too. There's so much out there that sometimes it seems that it works against our people, and not only our people, but as women, to hold it together and to build it and everything. But also, I believe that our organizations would not be here if it were not for the foundation and the strength of the community to bring it all together. So
I agree, and I think that the state of Colorado has done a good job at making sure that minority-owned businesses have a platform to build on, and definitely through the program that I'm working, that I'm partnering with and working with, I think they have been very good in making sure that people of all colors are included with the right qualification and background. And so that's one of the things that I'm lucky in that aspect, because I have not faced any types of discrimination dealing with the state and becoming a business in this program. It's been nothing but support from that aspect. But I definitely understand where you're coming from, because it can be hard.
Yeah. It can get a little sticky. Now, what advice would you give to people who either want to come into the foundation that you're building, or just entrepreneurship in general, as far as being a business owner? What advice could you give to us out there?
So I think it's very important that you seek a professional and make sure your organization of operations is together, so that your formation is together as far as building a business is concerned. In addition to that, having you a financial consultant is going to be very important, because you want to make sure that the money that your organization is making and bringing in is supportive long-term of what it is that you want to do. But I would say be fearless. I mean, if you have an idea, if you have a passion for something, go out and get it. Don't accept no for an answer. That's what I did.
There you go. Now, also along with that, what advice could you give in general? Because it takes strength.
Absolutely.
And it takes the will and determination. On those days that you don't want to, you got to be the one to grind. So what advice could you give to people out there who are just starting off or still in there?
Yeah, I would say don't reinvent the wheel. A lot of things that you have possibly learned past job experiences, you can use those to help you move towards what your goals are. Everything that I'm doing in this business is I'm using what I've learned along the way. So you don't have to start over. Use those skills that you learned along the way. sit down and understand how those skills can be transferable
Mhm.
to the things that you want to do, and then hone in and use those.
And for the ones who have families, as you can see, it's a prime
Mhm.
example. You know what I mean? What advice would you give?
I would say communication, amongst the family is sound. Like I said, I have a husband who has always been supportive in everything that I did. And so I've been lucky in that way. But communication, I would say, is, the most powerful tool that you can have. Be explicit about what your dreams are, how you're going to get there, and how it's going to support the family, long term. And yeah, you can't lose.
Okay, okay. Now, I'm gonna just like flip it out real fast.
All right.
For the people who are interested in your program,
Mhm.
is it just something that they can call you up and do? Why don't you explain a little bit how people can get connected with you to work with you on that?
So, are you speaking for like transition
For
services?
transition
Okay.
services,
Okay.
because I think you did break down with the housing that.
I did.
Yeah.
So transition services, any individual currently living in a nursing facility, intermediate facility, who is looking to transition into the community, or anybody who has a family member who wants to get them back out in the community and get them services. You can call Love Foundation 303 at 720-726-3128. You can email us at helpdesk@lf303.org, or you can go to our website, lf303.org. There's an information form there as well. But there are also forms that you can fill out. If you have a family member in a nursing facility, they can always work with their social worker to get signed up for transition services. That information then goes to Denver Regional Office for them to look at and then disperse those. There are many other transition coordination agencies out here, but I can say Love Foundation 303 is one of the best.
The connection, very thorough. And not only is it just, and I can just say, I'm sorry, my girl by the book. So y'all ain't cutting around nothing, okay? But at the same time within that, because you do need that structure, and she knows her stuff, you know what I'm saying? So no one's about to like skeet skirt around her either. At the same time within that, she also has the heart. Everyone who works for this company, I have met or encountered in some kind of way, had some sort of experience with, and everyone here, their hearts here, and that's very, very, very important, because in your line of work, if your heart is not there, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that are just kind of swept up under the rug.
Correct.
So thank you. If you have anybody in a facility, please give the Love Foundation a call. The information I'll also post it on the video or after the video. You guys can also go to at Let's Talk Gang to see the information anytime. Are you comfortable with sharing your social media platforms? Or
We're on Facebook at Love Foundation 303. And we do have an Instagram, but I'm so sorry.
the Instagram is Love Foundation, spelled out, 303. Okay, and I believe the Facebook is Love F.
That is correct.
303. Okay, so y'all make sure to check it out and support as well. Still building on the pages, as we all are. So, still just give it some love, give it some likes, and share, because we all know someone within that position that feels a little stuck in those homes.
Absolutely.
And it takes companies like these to just show some love and get them out. You know what I mean? Why don't you walk us through a little bit more of the transitioning process? Because even though we be in a rush to be getting up out these places, it takes some time, guys. It takes some time. So why don't you walk us through the process a little bit and share with the families who are interested?
Yeah. So a member who is interested in looking at their options of transitioning back into the community, there's a referral that they put in either through their social worker or family member, anyone can make the referral. And that referral goes to our Denver Regional Office of Counsel, better known as Dr. Cog. And once they receive that form, Dr. Cog then goes out and does an initial introduction, letting them know about the various programs that the member can then look into. If they choose transition coordination services, then the options counseling will then send that referral off to one of the agencies if the member does not already have an agency of choice. And so they'll send it to an agency. That agency then has 10 days from the time that they accept that referral to then go out and visit a member to do an initial meeting. And that initial meeting process, it really is about getting to know the member, providing them information about the program and the process in its entirety. And then there's subsequent meetings that follow up. So there's an assessment meeting that happens, and that assessment meeting is just really trying to understand what the needs and preferences are as far as supports or things that will be needed in order for a person to be successful in the community. That assessment meeting is typically done with the members' transition options team, and again, that can be with, any family member, friend, but it always consists of the transition coordinator, the nursing facility staff, and case manager, which we keep up to date on the process. And then from that process, there's a risk mitigation plan that is created for the member. And that risk mitigation plan is just basically saying, hey, these are some of the barriers, and these are some of the strategies and how we plan to address those barriers so that the member can be successful in the community. And those barriers and strategies, derive from what the members' needs are in the community and what they see as barriers to success. And then we develop that plan. And once that plan is developed, the wonderful thing about our program is if individuals qualify, there's an income and a disability qualification towards it, but we can help them get a housing voucher through the Department of Housing. And then once we secure that housing voucher, we began to work with another third-party, Brothers Redevelopment, and looking for housing depending on that member's preference of area and location. And then that's when the housing process starts. And so before a member ever discharges again, we coordinate all of the services. So if they need physical therapy, occupational therapy, if they need behavioral health services, if they need support with applying for food assistance, all of those things we're typically supporting them with getting prior to moving out in the community. And then again, as we spoke about the housing expense process that the state provides for a person to be able to get a good start in the community. Because let's face it, a lot of individuals in nursing facilities, a lot of their financial resources are going for them to be in those facilities. So they really don't have any money, any deposits or anything like that. And luckily through this program, again, we can support them with getting the deposit and at least first month's rent, in addition to making sure that they have that housing subsidy to help them maintain on a monthly, yearly basis.
Process. But workable and doable.
We have a aging community out there that needs our support. And if you have not been to a nursing facility, I would suggest that you go out and you visit some of these nursing facilities so that you get a first-hand experience on how individuals in nursing facilities are living. And then I would say make sure that with your family you're putting things in place, because if that is not where you want to end up in your aging years, put something in place so that you and your family understand what you know, what that path is and what that looks like for you. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause that's very important. You know, sometimes, and still, and even just go volunteer.
Absolutely.
Like she said, just go stop by, you know, or even if you can't like just sit up there and just like do games or something, just sit down, because sometimes people just want somebody to talk to.
Absolutely.
And just listen to them, you know,
Absolutely.
and tell their stories and everything, and just get involved in something. They're still people, guys, and they still want to feel like they are loved and cared about, because a lot of people feel abandoned
Absolutely.
and neglected in facilities. So, yeah, get out there and do some volunteering and some work. Thank you, LaShawn,
You're welcome.
for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
She warmed up to us, y'all. She warmed up to us. I love it. It's your girl, Empress Pre, with another episode of Letz Talk. Here with LaShawn Love Foundation. We out.
My grandmother always said, you gotta crawl before you walk. And now that I'm walking, my feet won't fail me now. Travel through life and reach an awakening. The journey's been cold, it's time for a reckoning. Abandonment issues kept pulling on my heartstrings. I fired back by accepting what you love would bring. They saw the beauty but tried to change it into the epitome of their illusion, creating what our distance be. Calling me funny type cause they don't have access now. And petty's my title cause I refuse to bow down. Hold up, I was surviving when their presence was unknown. Exiled and broken but my will remains strong. I'm not allowing my failures to get the best of me, or the stigma of fear to define my destiny. Covered in ashes when they left me bleeding is rise of the phoenix, forever succeeding. I'm keeping on grinding, my energy's rising. Transitional crashes no longer surprising. I gave it to source, the old me is dead. Destroying all curses, I live by the bread. I'm holding my head up, I'm standing my ground. The Empress arrived, the loss has been found.